This is Medical Device Legal News. Today is October 4th, 2023. I'm Sam Bernstein. On October 10th, next Tuesday, I'll be moderating a great panel at the MedTech conference in Anaheim regarding minimizing sales and marketing compliance risks and developing compliant sales models and value-added services. The panel includes Ben Barron, an Assistant U.S. Attorney and Chief of the DOJ Santa Ana Branch Office, Heather Hayworth, the Associate General Counsel of Edwards Life Sciences, and Catherine DeCam, the Compliance Consultant and former Chief Compliance Officer. I hope to see you there. On September 27th, the owner of Conclave Media and Nationwide Health Advocates pled guilty in connection with a $44 million telemedicine fraud scheme involving paying physicians and nurses to review and sign pre-populated orders for medically unnecessary durable medical equipment. Those orders were then sold to fraudulent telemedicine companies that targeted Medicare beneficiaries. Then the telemedicine companies allegedly sold those fraudulent orders to DME suppliers and laboratories. This case parallels numerous DME POS fraud cases that we've covered in the past, and DME telemedicine fraud continues to be a key area of focus for the DOJ. In a similar case on September 26th, a Charlotte physician was found guilty of 6 counts of making false statements relating to healthcare matters. The physician allegedly signed fraudulent orders for medically unnecessary braces for Medicare and TRICARE patients, where the physician had little or no interaction with the patients and made no determination of medical necessity. The physician faces a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 per count. Beginning as of October 1st of this month, all 510K submissions going forward must be submitted electronically via the eStar system to the FDA. October 2nd, the FDA released an updated electronic submission template for medical device 510K submissions. Unlike many other FDA guidance documents, because this guidance was issued under Section 745A subsection B of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, this document is not subject to the FDA's good guidance practice requirements, which otherwise would prohibit the guidance from establishing legally enforceable responsibilities and would treat the guidance as recommendations. However, because it is issued under Section 745A, the provision of the guidance document establishing standards, timetables, criteria for waiver, and exemptions under Section 745A are binding. The guidance document describes the technical standards associated with the electronic submission template for 510Ks, which requires the submission of certain types of information. Certain 510K submissions are exempt from the electronic submission requirement, including interactive reviewed responses, amendments, and withdrawal requests. De novo and pre-sub submissions can currently be sent as e-copies or eStar submissions, as well as mailed to the FDA. However, at some point, the FDA will likely adopt a requirement that such submissions be sent via the eStar system. On September 29th, the FDA also released draft guidance regarding an electronic submission template for medical device de novo requests, also under Section 745AB. Comments are due within 60 days of publication in the Federal Register. Similar to the 510K guidance, when finalized, the applicable standards, timetables, criteria for waivers, and exemptions will be binding. The eStar system can currently be voluntarily used for de novo submissions. However, you can also submit de novos via mail. The FDA intends by September 30th, 2025 to identify the effective date after which all de novo applications must be submitted via the eStar system. Similar to the 510K guidance, interactive review responses and amendments are currently proposed as exempt from the electronic submission requirement. On September 27th, the FDA issued updated guidance regarding cybersecurity in medical devices, which addresses quality system considerations and pre-market submission requirements. The guidance addresses devices with cybersecurity considerations, including devices with device software functions that contain software or programmable logic. The guidance is not limited to network or connectivity-enabled devices and includes devices subject to 510K, de novo, pre-market approval, product development protocols, investigational device exemption, humanitarian device exemption, biologics license, and investigational new drug requirements. It is also applicable to cyber devices, which are devices that include software that has the ability to connect to the internet that could be vulnerable to cybersecurity threats, as well as to devices for which a pre-market submission is not required, including 510K exempt devices. Accordingly, in addition to traditional manufacturers of products that are 510K exempt should carefully review this guidance document to ensure that their quality system regulation functions contain appropriate safeguards and address cybersecurity threats to the extent applicable to the devices. As you're aware, the FDA's guidance documents generally do not establish legally enforceable responsibilities unless specific regulatory or statutory requirements are cited, and if and when finalized, instead generally describe the agency's current thinking on a topic and should be viewed as recommendations. The FDA considers cybersecurity as part of a device safety and quality system regulation. The FDA expects software device manufacturers to establish cybersecurity risk management and validation processes, where applicable, as appropriate to the design controls for software validation and risk analysis. These processes are necessary to be able to provide a reasonable assurance to the FDA of safety and effectiveness. The FDA also recommends that manufacturers adopt a secure product development framework, or SPDF, to help facilitate compliance with this requirement. The guidance also cites to a number of security objectives which should be addressed and integrated into device design, including ensuring authenticity, authorization, availability, confidentiality, and secure and timely updatability and patchability of software. It also addresses the need to provide users with adequate cybersecurity information in product labeling, such as describing all built-in interfaces and cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Cybersecurity design controls are expected to be tailored to the expected use of a product, such as including greater controls for a device that is connected to networks or used in a safety-critical control loop. The FDA has indicated that including inadequate cybersecurity information in device labeling may constitute misbranding. It expects devices to be designed to eliminate or mitigate known vulnerabilities, and when known vulnerabilities are only partially mitigated or unmitigated by design, that they should be assessed as reasonably foreseeable risks in the risk assessment and may be assessed for additional control measures or risk transfer to the user operator, or if necessary, to the patient. To document these activities, the FDA recommends that manufacturers generate a safety risk management plan and report, such as that type of report that's described in AAMI TIR 57, Principles for Medical Device Security and Risk Management. Manufacturers of devices with cybersecurity considerations, including 510(k) exempt devices, should carefully review this guidance document to ensure that they have implemented appropriate design controls, adequately address cybersecurity risks in their labeling, and otherwise comply with the cybersecurity quality system regulatory requirements. On September 29th, the FDA released updated guidance regarding antimicrobial susceptibility test devices and related breakpoints in device labeling. The guidance is intended to facilitate the timely adoption of updated breakpoints in AST system devices to help ensure device safety and effectiveness. AST system devices are intended to determine the in vitro susceptibility of bacterial or fungal pathogens to different antimicrobial agents. The guidance includes recommendations on establishing a predetermined change control plan, the guidance for which came out a few months ago that we previously discussed, or breakpoint change protocols to allow changes to breakpoints and related labeling without requiring the submission of a new 510(k). Also on September 29th, the FDA issued updated guidance regarding technical considerations for medical devices with physiologic closed-loop control technology. PCLCs are devices with sensors, actuators, and control algorithms that adjust or maintain physiologic variable through automatic adjustments to the delivery or removal of a product, such as drugs, liquid, or gas regulated by a medical device, such as infusion pumps, ventilators, dialysis systems, and stimulation systems. The guidance addresses design considerations, including risk management, verification, and validation considerations, non-clinical testing requirements, human factors testing, and labeling requirements. Thank you for joining me this week for Medical Device Legal News. I'm Sam Bernstein, a partner in McGarwood's Healthcare Group. I'd also like to thank my colleague Sophie Morrows for helping to make today's program possible. I look forward to seeing you next time.